Hello, everyone. Thank you for your interest in the Northern Ireland Study Abroad program to be held in the summer of 2025. Well, the course will happen in the spring quarter of 2025, and the travel to Northern Ireland will take place in the summer of 2025. So here is a brief presentation as a way to orient you to what's ahead. So the study abroad program, as you see, is both spring and summer. The coursework is in the spring, and the actual immersion, which is a week-long trip to Northern Ireland, takes place in the summer of 2025. So by summer, I mean the 22nd through the 27th of June. And here I'll sort of give you a brief overview. I'm not entirely sure how many of you are familiar with Northern Ireland, so I'll give you a brief introduction and hope to pique your interest in the process. So the course is titled, it's MPS 575 and titled Peace and Conflict Resolution in Northern Ireland. Now, for those of you that don't know, Northern Ireland is a long contested region of the United Kingdom, has experienced decades of conflict, starting the late 1960s and right up to the late 1990s, that killed more than 3,500 people. Now, this era, so we're talking about 3 decades, is known as the Troubles. And you'll hear this a lot if you travel, if you take the course and then travel with me to Northern Ireland. Um, so this era is called the Troubles, largely pitted the historically dominant Protestants against the Catholic minority, right? So a peace deal was struck in 1998, in April 1998 to be exact, which created a power sharing agreement that included political forces aligned with armed groups. Now, more than 25 years later, most of the Belfast agreements, so this Good Friday Agreement that took place in 1998 is also called the Belfast Agreement, has been implemented, right? So although paramilitary groups still exist, they have mostly disarmed, and to a large extent, violence between the two sides has really come to an end. However, controversy over UK's departure from the European Union, the EU, which took place in 2020, also known as Brexit, actually complicated Northern Ireland's border arrangements. The so-called Northern Ireland Protocol, which implements new border checks for goods coming from Great Britain, has sparked fears of the possibility that there could be renewed sectarianism, which could undermine the progress that has so far been achieved by the Good Friday Agreement. So, meanwhile, the Republican Sean Fein political party has taken leadership of Northern Ireland government for the very first time in early 2024, early last year. And this has revived debates over potential for a referendum on unification with the Republic of Ireland. So this is to give you sort of a brief insight into sort of the flavor of the course. There'll be a lot of conversation about the conflict, but a lot of conversation definitely about the peace process. Now, to share just a little bit more, what I'm hoping would happen through this course, and I certainly believe in it, that we want to look past the troubles, past the conflict. There's so much more to Northern Ireland, and certainly a whole lot more to Belfast, which is its capital city. So Northern Ireland, as I say here on the slide, is far more than the violence which has taken place within it. It has really Belfast, its capital, is a city I've come to love. It has a rich and complex history, which is not solely defined by these conflicts. It was, is a maritime port. During its heyday, was the center of the linen industry and really a crucible, a hotspot of liberal radicalism in the late 18th century, through to the famous shipyards where the Titanic was built. So what you see here to the right is actually a picture of the Titanic Museum, which I hope to take you to. And Belfast has been really a hub of innovation, a very exciting, beautiful city. There's something inexplicably charming about it. So I hope to offer you a new perspective on its fascinating history, on demonstrating how religion, how culture, how politics have shaped the way people in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, think, act, vote, and how Belfast past continues to shape its present and future. So never do we forget the past, but how its present and its future is informed, shaped by its past. So that's sort of the flavor of the course. So politics, economics, society, culture is all sort of wrapped into having you get a flavor, a good, deep flavor of Belfast, and certainly of Northern Ireland writ large. So, to get into some of the details, which I'm sure is something you're eager to hear about, these are the class meeting days. So you register in the spring quarter for MPS 575, and this is a spring quarter course. You don't have to register in the summer. Um, the coursework will happen in the spring quarter, and this will happen in this fashion. We'll meet 4 times during the spring quarter, which is the way I've scheduled this, as you can see, is really um, Fridays. Each of the days listed here are Fridays. So April 4th, May 2nd, May 30th, June 13th, 6 to 9 p.m. We meet via Zoom. This is to accommodate those of you that are not situated here, and of course, several online students as well. So, so the course will meet 4 times. There'll be a whole lot of readings. So, considering we're meeting just 4 times, um, I'm hoping that the readings assigned will get done from, there'll be books that I'll offer and hope to get in guest speakers. So you will get a sense, you will get a sense of sort of the politics and the economics, and hopefully a deep sense of it through our readings and our discussions in class. Then we travel to Northern Ireland, specifically Belfast, between June 22nd and June 27th. So we come back. There'll be a final paper due, which will be due July 27th, the way I've designed it, or maybe July 31st. So July 25th is when we meet. So a week before your final paper is due, I basically meet and sort of we brainstorm about our experience. So what I'm essentially hoping will happen is that each of you come into this course with, and as we go through the reading materials, you come up with a research question or a question that you want to have answered during your visit in Northern Ireland. So basically, you will get a sense of the answer to the question from your readings, but you will take that very question right to Northern Ireland and see whether what you learn from the readings really lives up with the reality that you encounter. And the reality that you will encounter will consist of exposure to, of course, Northern Ireland. And this is what will happen. We assemble on the 22nd of June, which is the afternoon, early evening of 22nd of June. You'll find your way to Belfast. I'll, of course, share details on how best to reach there. It's best to come to Dublin and take a bus, which is available right outside the airport that takes you straight to Belfast. And whatever be the case, you have to be there at the hotel where we shall spend all our time, our night times. We'll stay in this hotel in downtown Belfast. So the bus depot, the bus station is within walking distance of the hotel where we'll stay in. So you come in. So on Sunday we dine together, and then the visits and the immersion really begins on the 23rd. But you must arrive by the 22nd. So the visits in and around Belfast happen from the 23rd morning right up to 27th evening. And the program officially ends, as in our visit to Belfast officially ends the evening of 27th of June. Now, what happens in the week that we are there? What happens in the week that we are there is that you get exposure to a variety of government agencies, government officials, and government organizations. These comprise parliamentarians, all of whom it's the Northern Ireland Assembly. And this is Stormont. This is a picture of the Stormont buildings, the Parliament buildings. So we'll spend a day with the parliamentarians. So you will meet with members of the Legislative Assembly as in MLAs. You'll meet with committees, be it education, health, economy. A lot depends on the interests of each of the students that actually sign up. So our time in Chicago will be a time when I get to know what you're really interested in. So we'll be meeting parliamentarians, we'll be meeting judges. We'll also be going to the US consulate and meet with the consulate general, who is based in Belfast. And then also go to the City Hall, which is the Belfast City Hall. This is a picture right here, which is again walking distance from our hotel. We'll meet with the Lord Mayor, um, and also meet with the Chief Superintendent of Police. As you well know, that the conflict um, in Northern Ireland, the troubles implicated the police as well. They were accused of brutality, accused of taking lives. So the police force came under considerable pressure to undergo reform. So we shall meet with the chief superintendent. Many police officers also lost their lives. So it's a this portion of the visit, so it'll be interspersed throughout the week. We'll meet government officials off and on. And between these visits to government officials, we shall also be meeting with a whole lot of, I think, a fairly interesting variety of nonprofit organizations, also called charities or non-governmental organizations. And some of them I list here. Um, One of them is 174 Trust. In fact, the chief executive officer or the executive director of the trust is Reverend Bill Shaw, whose picture is right here. I met with him in Chicago last year, and he's playing a key role in helping put together this program. In fact, we'll spend a good amount of time with him. So the 174 Trust, a fascinating organization, was established in 1983 and is a charity group that aims to provide a local Christian witness without denominational bias or sectarian prejudice. It's a fascinating charity because since its creation, it has really worked hard to serve the local community of Northern Belfast as well as the entire city through provision of a safe, shared space where difficult conversations can occur and people of all ages and backgrounds can actually access a range of programs and activities. So it's about creating a shared space, creating community ethos. So it is fundamental to conflict resolution and peace building, which is the key theme of the course. The other nonprofit that I hope, or charity that I hope to take you to, is called Corrymeela Community, which, by the way, is Northern Ireland's oldest peace and reconciliation organization. They began actually before the Troubles, which is that their work began before the sort of the 1960s, and they continue their work in Northern Ireland's changing post-conflict society. What can I tell you about them? So much to say. It has over 50 years of experience working alongside fractured communities and groups who are finding their relationships difficult, as well as addressing relational, societal, and structural power dynamics. They have a residential center in the northern coast of Ireland, which hosts over 10,000 people a year, as well as a lived community of volunteers and staff. They work alongside youth and school groups, family and community organizations and faith communities, universities, and even political parties. So at the heart of their efforts is really hope. So this is sort of a little flavor of the nonprofits that you will encounter. We'll of course be visiting the Peace Walls. I won't get into too much details because I'm hoping that you'll come to this course to understand what the Peace Walls are all about. And then we shall meet with the Human Rights Commission. We'll also meet with academics who have devoted their scholarship towards understanding peace process and development. So the course is not just about peace building, but also peace growing, which requires development in all areas, right? You require a healthy economy, a healthy education system, a healthy healthcare system, all of it to work together so that the youth, the women, the children, and the general public feel safe and thrive. So while it's about peace and conflict resolution as part of that process, we shall definitely be spending a good amount of time talking about Brexit and talking about trade and the future of the economy of Northern Ireland. So this is what will happen through the readings and definitely through the immersion. So these are a few pictures I took. So we'll go right up to the, so here's some music. I might play a little bit of it as I finish saying, so this is sort of your downtown Belfast. This is a picture of Queen's University. These are some beautiful gardens. This is a picture of the gardens not far from, within walking distance of Queen's University. Really beautiful botanical garden with roses. And this is Causeway. So we will be um, experiencing sort of the touristy side. This is the Causeway, which is in the northernmost belt of Northern Ireland. So it's about, what, about an hour and a half from Belfast. So we'll be having a bus for the entire duration of our stay. So we'll be using sort of a bus to take us to different places. Good food, good music as well. So this is time spent on the bar in the evenings. And I took this video in a bar quite next to the hotel, right? Good times. So, so this is the study abroad program to Northern Ireland. The application deadline is the 1st of February 2025. Please, please, please consider applying and finish your application in time so I can have a conversation with you. I'd love to interview each one of the applicants so that you get to know me, I get to know you, and your interest and your background. The program is open to, of course, graduate students across the college, and is open to undergraduate students as well on a case-by-case basis. Regardless whether you're a graduate or an undergraduate student, I would love to interview you. So this will sort of be competitive. So I'm hoping that a good number of you sign up so I get to chat with you. And you're so, so welcome to the course and to this experience. So on last slide, I shall leave you with some bagpipe. And here it is. So again, I am Professor Ramaya Ramanath, Associate Professor and Chair of International Public Service. I'm at the School of Public Service. This is my office is downtown. You're welcome to the Loop, 14 East Jackson. This is my email ID. The person who is the, if you have sort of questions about, more questions about the study abroad program itself, as in aspects related to budget and any other details that I perhaps did not cover, feel free to either reach me or Catherine, also who goes by Kat, Kozlik Reader, who is study abroad office's faculty lead program manager, who is helping me set up a number of details related to this program. So I look forward to seeing your application in my inbox. And here is a bit of music, and thank you.